It's time to talk about Andrew Bridgen again, one of the few MPs, but to be fair, at this point is the only MP who's consistently in the House of Commons talking about lockdown harms and everything else that happened since 2020, standing on his own as the only MP for the Reclaim Party. In this video from yesterday, we are going to be showing you guys how Andrew Bridgen stood up to both the Labour Party and the Conservative Party in the Commons. And I'm going to show you this for a reason, because the reaction we've got from the MPs in response to what he said is absolutely disgusting, because they're just going to be laughing around and mocking him, which is very, very sad for the state of politics and democracy. Let's go.
Andrew Bridgen.
I thank the Shadow Minister for giving way, and she makes an accurate assessment of the size of the mental health crisis facing our nation. But her words would have more resonance if she and her party had not voted in lockstep with the government for the disastrous lockdowns which have damaged mental health and especially our young people. Will she apologise?
Firstly, they start moaning, but look at this, because it's going to be the most disgusting moment you've seen in a while in the House of Commons. They're just going to be laughing, and they have no respect for the debate.
You're not on my list.
Question. I will take no lectures from the member who has just made an intervention, because he proudly sat as a member of a government who oversaw hundreds of thousands of unnecessary deaths and families who are still feeling the ongoing mental effects of losing their loved ones because of the mishandling of this pandemic by his then government.
Well, hang on, let's translate this quickly. So she accused him of being part of the government at the time. She doesn't know the difference between being a backbench MP and being on the front benches. He was a member of the Conservative Party, not the Conservative government, and he was consistently against these policies. She didn't listen to what he said clearly, because he was accusing both her and her party, Labour, and the Conservative government from benches for pushing for these policies. And her response was, you were part of the Conservative government that didn't do lockdowns harder. He was criticising the existence of the hard lockdowns, and you're basically saying he didn't support the lockdown even further. I mean, this makes no sense. Now he's going to go after the Tory government.
Quite a priority for us. I will happily give way.
Andrew Bridgen.
For giving way. The suicide rate in North West Leicestershire increased by more than 300% during the lockdowns. Does the Minister know what the increase was in his constituency?
Now, what do you expect the government frontbencher would say? Do you expect him to respect what Andrew Bridgen said, or at least try to look into it or respond? No. They have their own pre-written, scripted responses, that's what they do. There's absolutely no point when in the House of Commons to be a one-man band and actually win your battles. It's important to have people like Andrew Bridgen to speak out, but he's not going to achieve anything in terms of legislation yet, because he's on his own.
Mr. Speaker, it's just not true that there was an epidemic of suicides because of the lockdowns. There's been a whole series of studies of this, careful studies of it, and it's just not the case. My honourable former friend is not correct about this, I'm afraid.
Did you see what he said? The minister just stood up and literally said, there is no evidence of when it comes to people giving up and taking their own lives during the lockdown. It didn't really go up. We literally exposed it quite recently again, that official research into this by the establishment themselves, by their own scientists who were backing these things at the time, they came out and concluded, then yes, but mental health, physical health as well, when it came to the cancer patients and all the others that missed appointments, they did go up. And he just stands there in the House of Commons. The minister would just say, no, it didn't happen. So they have a rule in Parliament, in the House of Commons, that you can't directly lie, or you can't be libelous or slanderous and all that. But they still get away with spreading fake news and misinformation. And it happens for both sides, all sides, on every issue. It happened during the lockdown and now. I mean, you can have your arguments, you can have your positions. Some of you could be pro-lockdown, some of you could be anti-lockdown. But you can't really go out there and deny existing evidence. You can still admit as government that, for example, mental health cases went up. At the same time, you can still, if you want to, you can still defend your lockdown policies. But at least admit what happened. That's all we want. But it's not going to happen. Anyway, I thought I'd show you guys what Andrew Bridgen once again did in Parliament. It's important to promote these things and share this because the mainstream media are not going to talk about it, but I'm here to do it. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.